John Lusk here of Lusk Archery Adventures. Serious testing, successful hunting. I've got another broadhead by Bishop Archery to test here today. Bishop Archery was the one that really inspired me to get into broadhead testing way back in the day. I won a Bishop Archery dicing bolt. Okay, that's what they called their original single bevel 2-blade head. I won it in a little drawing on Archery Talk. And I was talking to the designer and the owner, and he said, hey, why don't you make a video about it? I had a few hunting videos on my YouTube channel then, and I did. I started like shooting it into different mediums, and man, one thing led to the next, and then I become this broadhead guy. And I've tested like hundreds of broadheads since then, but I owe a lot to Bishop for getting me started in testing broadheads, and I've learned a ton from them. One thing I've learned is they don't make junk, and it's not cheap. But it's not cheap, right? Okay, it's expensive, but man, it is extremely durable. That's like their niche. The owner used to live by this this big butchering place in Bishop, California. That's why they're called Bishop. And he used to get all the cattle bones for free or super low price, and used to shoot every broadhead in the world through them to try to find the toughest ones. Wasn't satisfied, so he started making his own, and they made some incredible single bevels. I mean, all the way up to like 600 grains. And man, I took a Cape Buffalo, this one sitting right here. I don't know if you can see the horn a little bit. Took that with a Bishop Archery arrow. Matter of fact, I even have the arrow sticking out here. I saved it. But anyway, I've loved all their stuff, and now they've come into this niche of the super wide 3-blade heads. And I tested the original ones that came out. They had like kind of some serrations or blade interruptions, blade bevel interruptions, I think they call them. But these are like now just a straight edge. And a number of people asked them, could you make them with a straight edge? So they did with this Bishop 3 Pro. It's a super wide cut, 3-blade cut, designed especially to inflict massive damage. I mean, that's its goal, massive damage. It's not designed for massive penetration, it's designed for massive damage. So great with a super heavy setup or great with a crossbow setup. And super short profile, so really good in flight and supposedly really durable. I don't know, I've tested the ones with the blade interruptions. I'm eager to test these straight edge ones and see how they do. So I'm going to be using my process for 2026. And for a detailed description of that, please check out the video I posted earlier this year called 2026 Broadhead Test Process, and it'll walk you through it. I'm using my Elite Eon Compound bow for most of the shooting, along with Bishop Archery arrows, and I'm using my Ravin LR XBow, 450 feet per second, for the rest of the testing, for the crossbow testing. Okay, let's zoom on in here. Check out this Bishop Pro 3 super big, super short 3-blade broadhead, and then put it to the test. Here's a good look at this head, and man, look at that spin. It just spins extremely well. Super tight tolerances. It's machined out of a single piece of what they call their proprietary Rachel steel, which is basically a rust-inhibiting coating applied over a machined, hardened S7 tool steel body. All one piece of S7 tool steel with that coating over the top, and heat treated, and it's Swiss CNC machined, and so that's where the really tight specifications come from and really great tolerances. Okay, I love the design of stuff like that. You notice this extreme blade over shaft design, and you can fit a really fat outside diameter in there. In my case, I have a really big collar on the end of these Bishop arrows. Actually, Bishop arrows going with the Bishop broadhead, but you can use crossbow bolts really easily. And this broadhead really is especially excellent for crossbows. And so you can fit that crossbow bolt up inside there and get this extremely short design. I mean, the length beyond the end of the arrow is less than half an inch. It's, to my knowledge, the shortest broadhead known to man, at least that I'm aware of. I mean, less than half an inch. It's 0.45 inches from the tip to the end of the arrow, and then it flares out super wide. The dimensions, the cutting diameter, is 1 7/16 inches, so almost 1.5 inches. And then it's 3-blade. So your total cut is 2.16 inches of cut, and really wide cut at that. And that is going to make a wound channel that is not easy to close up. Now you notice it has a really steep angle to it and a really flared diameter coming out, and that's where it's going to challenge your penetration. And so that's where, again, a really heavy setup, a heavy poundage, longer draw, heavier arrow, or a crossbow bolt are really going to have enough oomph to drive it deeply and really let it do its damage. Now, it being a 3-blade, one-piece design, it does have 60-degree bevels to it, so you can just lay it flat on any surface and sharpen it on up, and you can get it pretty sharp. However, being a 60-degree bevel, it's only going to get so sharp. Those only get so sharp. Now, the designer is not really worried about the sharpness. He's much more concerned about what he calls EBI, edge bevel integrity. That it's the nicks, it's the chipping, it's the chattering, the deformation of the tip or of the blades that impedes penetration a lot more than the sharpness, and especially at compound bow or crossbow bow speeds. So with this being S7 tool steel, this proprietary Rachel steel, again, he's not worried about it feeling super sharp, but he is concerned about that edge keeping its shape, because that's going to affect the penetration and lethality more than anything in their minds. The blade thickness is 0.057 inches thick, so nice thick blades, nice top quality steel, really short compact design. Probably going to fly pretty good, though I'm eager to test it out at crossbow speeds, and probably going to be really durable with this design. This is, you notice, the straight edge design. There's another one they have that has like bevel interruptions. Okay, it's kind of more serrated, but there was a real outcry for just a straight edge to help with penetration, and so that's why they just came out with these. Really look forward to. And the price of these comes out to $25 per head when you buy a pack of 12. So you might want to go in with a buddy or something, but I think they just come in packs of 12, but then you're set for life when you have them because you got 12, and it's a pretty reasonable price given what you're getting at $25 a head. But you can use my discount code LUSK10 to save 10% on any order. Really look forward to putting this head to the test and seeing how it performs. Out of my Elite Eon, it got the 9 ring. And out of the Ravin at 450 feet per second, it got the 10 ring. It took 527 grams of force to cut through the wire, which is a 6.73 on a 10-point scale. It penetrated 6 3/4 inches. It took an additional 28 grams of force to cut through the wire, which is a 9.44 on a 10-point scale. It penetrated through 41 layers, which actually is pretty good given that wide of a cut and that flared of a blade design. It's in pristine condition after the 3 shots through the MDF. And absolutely no signs of wear after the 2 shots through the steel plate. And man, look at these holes. I mean, these are just monster wound channel holes. Here it is after all the durability testing, and wow, it just held together perfectly well. I mean, through 3 shots the MDF, 2 shots through the steel plate, and then into the center block. Other than cosmetic differences, you really can't tell it's been shot at all. Spins perfectly well. Really, really impressive durability. So it's going to get a bonus for that extra durability and no real damage after any of the durability testing, and it's going to get that bonus round of being shot through one of the Ravins into the center block as well. That's going to be fun. Here it is after the extra durability bonus test of being shot through the Ravin into center block. And wowzers, this thing just held up incredibly well. I mean, there's very little damage, if any, maybe a little bit to the tip there. So I'm going to give it a 9.75 out of 10. So it gets an extra bonus in this extra durability round. Really, really impressive. So what'd you think? Man, this is a really cool head. Again, if you have the momentum, this thing will inflict the damage, okay? You're going to really inflict some put-down power on an animal. What a great head for turkeys. What a great head for pretty much everything. If you're shooting it through like a Ravin, a really high-speed crossbow, I mean, great for, something as small as a turkey or on up to a really big animal. It just depends on your momentum. But, man, it's really something worth considering. They don't come super sharp, but Bishop isn't concerned. In all their testing, they're confident they're going to breach bone and they're going to penetrate good enough, and they say that edge bevel integrity, EBI, is more important even than the sharpness. But if you want to get them sharper, you can just sharpen them, just lay them flat and sharpen away, and you can get them pretty sharp yourself. But hey, you check out the score sheet, see how they perform in the areas that matter to you the most, see if they might be a good fit for you. And stay tuned for a summary of how it did in all the tests, as well as the cumulative score and the corresponding Lusk grade. And also stay tuned for a list of all the discount codes I can offer just to help you save some money in the field, like for Bishop Archery. Lusk 10, Lusk 10 will save you 10%. Hey, thanks for tuning in. Look forward to seeing you next time.